Hey everybody, this is Lorelia coming to you today with the topic debt free or leverage debt. I think this is going to be a very good topic, but if you are watching the replay, welcome as well. So, as you can see, debt free or leverage debt, I think this is a good topic. I know I have been on hiatus for, I think it's been about, 14 days since the last time I've been here on YouTube. So, as I film this video, just know that I am back 2 weeks of summer activities. So didn't really get a chance to do a video along with currently working with clients as always. So it's good to know that, hey, I'm back. Let's get into the topic. So as you can see, debt free or leverage debt. What do I mean? Let's get into it. For the past couple of videos, I've been talking about the impact of recession, the impact of real estate, the impact of the economics of this country, and along with real estate. And so this is the moment in time. As I film this, this video is now 2022, August of 2022. Should you or should you not invest in real estate? That is the question. Many of the strategies that I teach is, primarily about leveraging six figures and business funding to be able to invest in multifamilies using asset-based financing. And so if you are familiar with asset-based financing allows you as the investor to invest in real estate, primarily looking at the income that can be produced by the property. And so many lenders will make the determination if they want to finance the property based on the revenue of the property. Now, that can be if you're doing the BRRRR strategy, primarily for 2 units or more. That can be for a current house that, or property that is generating some type of rental revenue, of course, 2 units or more. And that can even be possibly an Airbnb, but primarily I specialize with individuals who want to be able to enter into the multifamily market, and that would be 2 units or more. So, going back to what I said, when it comes to asset based financing, what lenders look at is, like I said, the income that the property produces. Now, unlike you buying a home for yourself, or even you buying a home as a landlord, many lenders, for example, FHA, conventional VA loans, USDA loans, they're going to look at you, the person who is looking to obtain the mortgage, to see if you can possibly afford it. And they're going to look at your debt to income ratio. They're going to look at your credit. They're going to see if you have a job. And that is primarily the way that most people understand real estate and the ability to acquire an asset. As opposed to asset-based financing, is primarily the decision is made based on you being, and I guess I should have plugged up my computer because now it's about to die. But I will continue talking. I'm never prepared, right? When I do these videos, give me a second. This is being done in real time. So I should be good. I should be good now. Okay, so I should be good. So back to what I was saying. As opposed to asset-based financing, it is based on the property having the ability to generate revenue. And so a lender is going to look at the property in hand. They're going to look at um, what are the current rents that are being collected for the particular property. They're going to also look at, you know, if you were to renovate it and be able to pull equity out, they're going to look at, what is the value of the property. And one of the biggest things that, you know, um, that I would say is a plus when it comes to asset based financing is decisions aren't made on the debt to income ratio of the investor, the purchaser of the property. The decision is made on what is called the debt service coverage ratio. You may have heard the acronym DSCR. And without me going into the calculation, because it is a calculation, it's easy to calculate. I won't use this video to do it, but that calculation is what a lender would look at to see if you can possibly, is the, not you, but can the property be what considered a profitable property, meaning that the lender doesn't want to go in the hole because at the end of the day, like the game of Monopoly, the bank is never going to lose. So, with that being said, well, wow, Lorelia, that is very interesting. That is very interesting. So, how does that go into debt free or leveraged debt? And I'm going to talk about that. So, right now, as I film this video, many people are enticed, or should I say, interested in the ability to be able to invest in multifamily properties. But the question is, do I need to be debt free and can I leverage debt? And this is my answer to that. I believe that there are no right or wrong answers. It's really, up to you. It's also up to the lender or the strategy that you are going to be able to use to be able to access the funds that are needed to buy that property. With that being said, a lot of times, many people think that they cannot enter into the real estate market or be able to be an investor because they do have debt. And that, my friend, is one of the reasons why asset based financing is an attractive method to be able to leverage to buy properties because the lender is not looking at you. Many asset based loans are considered what they call non QM. You may have heard non qualified mortgages, which means that the qualifying methods to be able to buy a property the traditional way is not related to asset based financing. Hence, that is why debt doesn't play a large part because the lender is primarily going to look at, can the property itself sustain itself? Because many of the people that, or the investors who use asset based financing as a possibility to be able to acquire properties, lenders know they already have other assets. So whereas with many people will tell you, oh, do FHA. Okay, FHA is great if you a one-time person, meaning this is your first time acquiring a property and you're going to live in it. But when you get to the point that you are looking to get hold to multiple properties, FHA is not going to work for you. Now, once again, let me put a disclaimer. That's if you're doing it the proper way. Now, I get there are, real estate individuals who will tell you, oh, there's a trick. You could put it in your child's name or your wife's name and still be able understand here on this channel. I'm only talking about the legit ways that's not going to get you in a jam. So, with that being said, you are capped when it comes to FHA, which is why asset based financing is more attractive. And what I really help clients to do is that now, this is another thing why most people don't like asset based financing. You have to put some skin in the game. That's right. You have to put some skin in the game. I tell people the asset based financing is not for the person who is looking to do no money down. It is not for the person who's trying to get a big bang for a small buck. Yes, lenders want to see you put some skin in the game, even though the decision is going to be based on can the property generate revenue itself. The lender is still going to look at how much are you bringing to the table. Let's just do easy math. If the property, if it's 100,000, the lender is going to lend up to 80. The lender's looking for you to come up with the other 20%. Now, one may say, well, Aurelia, you know, I don't want to use my hard cash because I want to keep that in the bank. Want to be able to have some added cash flow. That's fine. But that's where business funding comes in. And that is what I teach clients because you're going to leverage the business funding to be able to cover the 20% that is needed to get into the property, leveraging asset based financing. Because the lender wants you to come to the table with something. That's why I said it is not for the beginning investor or the novice investor who is trying to make a big score with very small risk. That's not this conversation. This is for the investor who is doing deals, have acquired properties. They know that it takes some skin in the game to really be able to build their portfolio, create some generational wealth. And that is going to take you putting some of your own money. Because one thing a lender wants to know is, are you able to put your money up? Because this is what gets people. There's so many people who, as I said a few minutes ago, they're trying to make a big impact. They want to be an overnight real estate millionaire, and they don't want to use any of their money. They don't want to use any of their money in terms of knowledge and information, getting access to property, because they're so scared of debt. And that is why I titled this video Debt Free or Leverage Debt. Because depending on who you speak to, some people are going to say debt is bad, debt is not good. You can't buy a house because your debt to income ratio is too high. And although all that may play a part when it comes to real estate, at the end of the day, you need to know, does it apply to the strategy that you're going to put in place? Because I tell people, if you subscribe to being debt free, scared to use your credit cards, understand responsibly, utilization scares you, I may not be the person for you. I can tell you right now, I may not be the person for you because business funding paired with asset based financing requires you to leverage debt. And I get it. Some people don't have a high enough financial IQ to carry it because it does take financial discipline. It takes discipline to be able to leverage and for those who like, well, what is it? Is it going to come from the personal side or the business side? It doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, you still have to pay it back. See, I'm not one of those people who gonna tell you, go ahead and get all this business credit, it's tied to your business, go trick out on it, and then rinse and repeat and do it again with another entity. I get it. That is a very popular message, and that's not the message that I teach, that I share with people. Because I believe that if you show lenders that you are a good financial steward, of any money that is loaned to you, I tell clients all the time, funding will be your oyster. It will literally be your oyster. See, the only people who are having problems with getting funding or people who are trying to enter into the multifamily real estate arena are people who are trying to do something for nothing. That's where the whole debt free and leverage debt comes in. Because a person is trying to do a big bang, you know, I want to invest in a multifamily. The property is going to, after debt service is paid and everything, I'm going, cash flow X amount of dollars. And I just want to do it with this very small skin of the game as I can. And that is possible when you have some experience. But what I'm finding is that people are novice investors. They have no history. They have no experience. They may have did a few wholesale flips, but they do not have any properties that they own. And now they want the best terms. They want to get in the deal the best way. And then the answer, and not I shouldn't say the answer, but usually the response is, well, this guru, I took this particular guru's class and they said this and they said that. And my answer is, then tell that guru, whether it's a man or woman, to hold your hand and show you how it's done using their lender. Because a lot of times what people don't know is that what your guru is showing you is a possibility that your guru is at chapter 25 of their journey in real estate. And you, my friend, are only at chapter 1 or chapter 2, or maybe not no chapter. And now you're measuring your success or your entry point into real estate, into leveraging debt, into asset based financing from a false start. And that is how people get tripped up. See, I'd rather tell people the real truth instead of a soft lie. The hard truth hurts. That's why it's not popular. That's why people will gravitate to, you're not going to use any of your money, and you're going to fall into real estate riches. And I get it. There are possibilities where you can use 3% down, FHA, USDA loans, conventional. You pay and you're going to put a little more down, and it all has a place. But you can't take that strategy and apply it to asset-based financing. And that's why I tell people, most people don't know how asset-based financing works. I'm going to do a whole nother video on that, because many people don't know that with a lender, when you're trying to get access to asset-based financing, you don't get a pre-approval letter. You get what is called a term sheet. Whereas the lender is going to assess the property. If you're just catching this video, or if you've been on, I talked about that. I talked about how they're going to evaluate the property. They're going to see how much revenue the property can bring in. They're going to see if it's a profitable property. They're going to see how much equity is in the property, and they're going to decide if they want a loan on it. If all those things work out to their liking, where they see that they can make money, then they give you what is called a term sheet. And that will lay out what's the possible interest rate, if there's origination fees, all the fees that are required for you to be able to move on to that loan. That's how asset-based financing works. And that's what I'm saying. Most people don't know that, because they're trying to get into this arena using the methods and strategies of FHA. How does that work? Go. You go to a mortgage lender. They tell you what you are pre-qualified for. Then if you decide, hey, you want to go a little further, they'll give you a pre-approval letter. That pre-approval letter will pretty much tell you and tell the realtor you're working with how much you can buy, and what's the possible interest rate, and is it going to get locked in, and all this other stuff. Asset-based financing doesn't work like that. It works based on the deal. And that is why I said debt free or leverage debt, because leverage debt, if done right and done with with a right strategy, can leapfrog you into what it is that you want to do in real estate. It can literally leapfrog. But if you are tied to, I want to be debt free, and don't get me wrong, like I said, it all has a place. It all has a place. Like I just tell people that if debt free is a strategy that you want to do, I'm probably not going to be the best person to listen to or to work with. I'm just not. You see what I'm saying? So that's pretty much all that I have to share about that topic, debt free or leverage debt. But I really wanted to tie it to business funding because I don't think people understand the opportunities that are out there in the lending space when it comes to be able to acquire a revenue generating property using asset based financing. Some of the creative ways that you can do it, and leveraging debt is one. But once again, if you subscribe to debt free, anything that that I may share or that I may advise on is going to really get under your skin. But doesn't mean that it can't get you to where you want to go with real estate. You just got to know what it is that you want to do. But anywho, like I said, hiatus is over. Plan to add some more content. I think the next video I may go into is really exposing people to understanding how it works in terms of getting to the point where, hey, you know what, I want to, look at asset-based financing, and what would be the next step? Because most people approach it like they're looking for a pre-approval letter, and then from there they'll go shopping for the property, and it's actually the opposite way. You need to have the property, you need to have it already tied up under contract, the whole nine, and be able to execute. And so that right there intimidates people. But once again, only reason why it intimidates people, because like I said, you may be just starting your journey. And if you're just starting your journey, this strategy may not be for you, because you may be looking to do no money down or very little money down. And the conversation of debt scares you, and it's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong. Many of the clients that I've worked with, they were okay, whether they were beginners or seasoned individuals, they were okay with using debt, because at the end of the day, it got them to what it is that they were looking to do, and it got them to their I should say their goal, to what they're trying to get to. So other than that, everything is underneath this video. I have links underneath this video. And, if you are someone who would like to have a conversation with what I was talking about in terms of business funding, leveraging it to be able to invest in multifamilies, using asset based financing, go to, as you can see on the screen, www.neverloseadeal.com. That will pretty much give you a sneak peek into how I work, what I do, and how we could possibly have a conversation. So once again, this is Lorelia, and I am signing off. Bye bye.